pretty much did is what they be doing to Muhammad all the time. So I want to know. I just want to see what they say.
So now, Trump does something else that kind of pissed a lot of people off, and this deserves criticism, and it's a well-deserved criticism. He posts a picture of himself that was posted a few months back in February by a guy named Nick Adams. So the original tweet,
we know,
Vinny, I don't know if you know or not.
Yeah, what's somebody else?
The original tweet of this is actually not him. The original tweet of this was a guy named Nick Adams.
Yeah, we know.
He posted this in February of sometime this year, and the only difference is, which a lot of people are talking about, Rob, it was on my notes. I don't know if you want to go to it, if you want to pull it up. I'll text it to you as well. Both ways you have it. I just texted it to you. There is a picture of comparing the two that you have. Is that the one I just sent you? Yeah, there you go. So if you look at this, Nick Adams tweeted this in February.
Castro, bro, you got to back that up, bro. We're super critical if we don't laugh about God. Not God, but Trump making a joke about healing like Jesus. I don't know, bro. I could take a joke, but you might want to ask your Christian brethren about that one. Because a lot of Christians that I know are had at their wits end with Trump, like, yo, what the fuck is this? You don't ever come at Jesus, ever like that. And y'all okay with them coming at Muhammad like this, but I'm very confused, guys. I'm so confused. Like, come on, Castro. Don't you think this is a little bit of cope that you're even trying to say, oh, this is funny, this should be accepted? Or are you saying something else and I'm kind of mischaracterizing what you're saying? Because I think as a Christian, everybody should just be like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this is wrong. This is messed up. Trump should have never did this. Like, what the fuck?
And something changed. Go to the right one, the one on the right. So this one has the, soldiers in the back, and then come back February 4th, and then you want to come back. America has been sick for a long time. President Trump is healing this nation. And then go to the new one that the president tweets. And so the president tweets this one.
Who's that?
Yeah, so the one in the middle, people are like, well, what is that? Well, what is that person? So anyways, I'll pause here. Vinny, your thoughts on this
well,
the president.
Okay, well, if I'm assuming, what is that? Is that the Antichrist? Is that a demon? Why of all the things that you change, you just change that thing? So there's questions. But listen, in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, Pat, it says, God will not be mocked. Period. End of story. Full stop. I know we're talking about
sorry, Christians. And it says that, but y'all allow a lot of mockery of Jesus, especially when it comes to these movies. Like, bruh, y'all allow the craziest mockery of Jesus, which is this is where I kind of respect the Muslims on, because not only that they don't allow a mockery of Muhammad, Allah, or Jesus, by the way. If you say something crazy about Jesus and in these Muslim countries, bro, they will execute you. That is the Messiah. That is their Messiah as in our God that they hold to the highest honor. So it's kind of crazy how they defend Jesus' name. Muslims defend Jesus' name more than Christians. Man, we might need to talk about that as well.
Flakes and Jews and all that stuff, but y'all
ain't got to go out there and start beheading people, but man, at least stand up.
The track record. I played a video a long time ago saying that Trump said that he is not a Christian. Then he also did on Air Force One. He said, I'm not going to heaven. Okay. And then when he got sworn in, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. I know that's not a huge deal, but the Bible's right there. I think Melania was holding it, and he didn't.
Christians saying we don't allow mockery. Yes, you do, bro. I'm sorry, but if you ever seen the movie Deadpool, you've allowed the mockery of Jesus. If you've seen how many jokes have been made about Jesus through South Park, cartoons, movies, and all this good stuff, y'all allow the mockery of Jesus because y'all don't boycott it. Y'all don't do nothing at all, bro. Let that shit be Muhammad, bro. Oh my God, bro. Muslims crashing out. They crashing out. And I think that Christians could learn from that a little bit. Y'all need to start crashing out for Jesus. Not like start lobbing off heads, but maybe start boycotting at least. Because, bro, really? This is why people feel so free to mock Jesus, because y'all don't do anything about it.
Put his hand on it. This type of stuff, Pat, and again, people, like you said, can have their opinions and everybody has their thing. I'm not a fan of that and putting it there and then adding the demon, whatever the heck that is in the back.
You think he did? Like somebody probably forgot, somebody had edited it and then he retweets it. It's not like it's by the way, I don't know if we can show this picture here, Rob, on, so you may want to change this one. Go ahead, Adam.
You're asking the question of whether
let me go to Tom. Let me go to Tom. Tom, your thoughts on the picture of the president posting that. How do you feel about that?
Look, there's like a meme a day, a meme a week, and you put something like this. I don't know how to interpret it. It didn't come with like a commentary. Clearly the original intent from the original author was, hey, he's going to heal the nation. And he even says, I'm not a spiritual guy. It's kind of like, Charles Barkley saying, man, I'm not a role model. You can make me out to be, but I'm not a role model. And if this was Mother Teresa here, no one has any trouble with it, without the American flag, that this a symbol of healing and touch and things like that. And I think this is just, I can't read into it. Maybe he's saying, you know what? I want to fix things and I want to bring things forward. I don't see it religiously. I see.
I don't know if I like it, Tom. I don't know if I like it.
It's kind of like,
I don't know if I like it.
It's off.
You know why I don't like it, Tom? Like when it comes down to, certain things like with God, I don't know if I'm messing with this. Leave this one alone. Go and see yourself above every other man. And by the way, this is coming from a guy that's a Syrian.
Somebody says you're actually commending Islam, bro. I commend anybody who truly stands up for their beliefs. Like anybody. If there's a Christian willing to whoop your ass over you insulting Jesus in any way, shape, or form, I respect that Christian. Why? Because he actually stands up for his beliefs. I respect anybody who stands up for their beliefs. Yes, even the Muslims. So sorry, but I just respect people who stand on business.
That's what Assyrians were known for. Well, what happened to us? Hey, let's go visit our country, Vinny. Where's our Vinny? Rob, can you pull up on the map?
Sounds like a lot of y'all crying because I just called out the coward in you. That y'all know damn well somebody made fun of Jesus in your face. You ain't gonna do a damn thing. So I'm sorry for calling out your cowardice, but it needs to be talked about. Are y'all for Christ or not?
Assyria. Pull up on the map.
Yeah, let's pull that
Assyria.
up.
And why don't you pull up the president of Assyria? And here's an Assyrian saying this.
Shout out to my man Daniel Castro for clarifying. He's like, the imagery, it sucks. I can get over it. It's somewhat funny. But he's saying, now, if he's saying he is Jesus, all right. All right, Castro, I understand. All right, Castro got it like a red line. All right, cool. I'm pretty sure most of you probably got that red line too. So maybe I might be looking into it too deep. I can admit to that, to where, what said, this doesn't cross the red line, like my man Castro was saying. And I can respect that.
Where's our country?
Pat,
we don't have a country.
Holy Rock.
It's Baghdad. Baghdad is.
No, but I want to find out who is the president of Assyria.
There is none.
So what happened to Assyrians? I thought we were the first warriors 6,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. I thought we conquered the biggest. I thought we invented, the
beer,
calendar,
irrigation,
the capitalism, mercantilism, everything that we have right now, capitalism. Can you pull up stuff that Assyrians invented? Assyrian Empire invented. Go to what things Assyrian Empire invented. If you go to stuff that they invented, okay, from, can you just go to ChatGPT? Yeah. It'll list it out for you if you go there. The stuff that Assyrians invented is insane. 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 You go read the Bible. Go watch the language Aramaic. Me and Vinny speak Aramaic, right? We're trying to get Tom and Adam and Rob to learn. Rob's the closest so far, but we're weapons, math, business, you name it. Assyrians. What happened to the Assyrian Empire? We fell. Why did we fall? Do you know Assyrians were so crazy that they would go get lions to say, "You're not the king of the jungle. We are." Yeah. Can you imagine how crazy you have to be to say, "Hey"? We would go kill lions just to say we're the kings of the jungle. We're Assyrians.
Yep.
And then
little too cocky.
Little too cocky.
You think so?
We built. You guys try to build the Tower of Babel.
We built something. A tower.
You guys
try to
Babel
reach up there
to go and say, "Hey God, listen, we're kind of stronger than you." And then he's like, "Wait, who are you guys? Yeah. Do you know what this thing called the famine is?
Wow,
yep. You're gone. Go ahead, Assyrians." Yep. Okay, now there's still see a few of us left. We are very aspirational.
That's right.
We bought 11 acres. We're trying to build a small little country here in Fort Lauderdale.
Papa Gabriel would be the godfather.
We believe the future looks bright. But no, I think the part is there's one thing you don't play with. You just don't. You don't play with God. It's the only thing. Play with anything you want to play with, And I'm somebody, we were with the UFC president, Dana. We're there sitting right next to everybody, family. We spoke to Marco Rubio. We were with everybody 2 days ago with a torn ACL, walking out with a limp from Compton, like that kind of a true, legit limp.
Like you were on the card.
Yeah, exactly. but the point is, I just don't think there's any benefit to things having to do with God. Leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Very simple. I think leave that one alone.
Just leave religion out of it. It's like, I know a lot of people like to try to put religion in it. I always say leave religion out of it, guys, because that's where things get a bit extreme. But yeah, I would let's say leave Jesus out of it, leave Muhammad out of it, leave Allah out of it, guys. Let's just talk about what's best for America when it comes to politics. All right, guys. All right. Even though some of y'all will still try to bring up religion over it because you want your religion to be the dominant thing. It's funny. People blame Muslims for this, but I mean, we have a thing called Christian supremacists who truly believe this to be a Christian theocracy. So, reconcile with that, my fellow Christians.
Trump announces Strait of Hormuz blockade after Iran talks collapse. Here's the president. So there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed. But the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis. But Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion, and leaders of countries, especially in the U.S., will never be extorted. I've also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. We will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. Their navy is gone.
I'm sorry, but how does blockading the Strait of Hormuz bring Iran close to the table when, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna just be real with you. One, cutting off this money pipeline means nothing to Iran. It really doesn't. They weren't making any real money before they was able to put up a fight still. So I'm sorry, but a complete blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, and you're pretty much saying that no enemy nor ally can go through. Well, you're kind of just, I'm gonna be real with you, you're kind of in a way helping Iran. To be honest with you, because now people are going to be even more desperate to get the Strait of Hormuz open. They're going to be more desperate to knock on our door to get this war ended. So I'm really trying to understand the strategic remedy, what's it going to remedy here when we put this blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, but I just don't see it, to be quite honest with you, because they'll still be able to make their rockets, still be able to make their drones. They'll still be able to control that section of the Strait of Hormuz along with their multiple islands. So what's been accomplished? Besides us just being able to flex in the Gulf of Oman?
Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and radar are useless. Khomeini, he probably meant to say Khamenei, and their leaders are dead. All because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly.
Oh, no, and Castro, this can't hurt Russia because Russia has stopped exporting. They stopped exporting to save some of their own oil. So when it comes to their energy, this is not hurting them. China, well, yeah, I can see this hurting China, but not Russia. Russia, they're good. China on the oil side, I'm gonna be real with you. They're gonna test our gangster. They are. They're gonna ride through. They're gonna be like, "What you gonna do? We getting our oil and we riding back." I mean, I think that's actually what's gonna happen. I could see it because what are we gonna do? Blow up their vessel? No, we're not. Oh, we're gonna add 50% tariff. Oh, okay. Let's not pretend like they weren't dealing with us at 100.
Other countries will be involved with the blockade. Iran will not be allowed to profit of this illegal act of extortion. They want more, and they want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at an appropriate moment, we will fully be locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. So that announcement is made. You look at oil prices right now, Rob, if you want to go to it real quick, just to kind of see where we are with it. As of right now, oil prices, maybe press a refresh. Is it live? 103.39. There you go, 103.39. It was at 105 in the morning. It went all the way up to 119. They're saying if this continues for another week or two, we could be looking at 140. Even if a little bit longer, we could be looking at 200, which is pretty wild to be thinking about. And J.D. Vance himself was out there, I believe, trying to negotiate with Iran. He even said that it went for 21 hours. And I think in an interview, Rob, if you have it, he says it's bad for Iran It's not good for Iran after 21 hours of a negotiation that they had about the blockade. And the president came out and said something. Hopefully, we'll find a clip to show you. But he came out and said, is this the one, Rob?
Yes, one of them.
Go for it.
Mr. Vice President, how often did you communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know.
Well, guys, and make sure to send any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements in the super chat so we can go ahead and get to the goal and open up these call-in lines. I see there's a lot of people in the chat that actually do want to come up and, you know, I guess debate me on the topic or whatever, or even disagree with me and give their own information that I don't know. So let's make sure we can go ahead and hit that goal by super chatting in, guys. Or if not, go ahead and double tap that screen and like the video, and let's see if we can get the 300 likes. If we're not already, let's see if we can get the 400.
How many times we talked to him? A half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith.
You can pause it right there, Tom. You can pause it right there, Rob. Okay, so Tom, what do you think about the blockade?
So, to be real with you, no side was negotiating in good faith because both sides were giving their maximalist demands. Like, so, and it was like a game in a certain point. Like, there was JD Vance giving U.S. maximalist demands. Then there's the Iranian negotiators giving their maximalist demands. And they're both looking at each other like, you know, one of us got to go ahead and give away here. Like, so, like there got to be a middle ground here. And there was no middle ground reached. I mean, JD Vance says the word a couple times. He'd go back and check in with Trump. He did so 6 times, and it came back, and Trump would say, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And then even Trump on the interview we just heard, he said that, well, I told JD I wanted 100%, not 90, not 80, 100%, which is unreasonable pretty much. I mean, pretty much he kind of set JD up to fail in those negotiations.
Let's take a look at a map, so everybody can understand.
Like I said, if it was about making sure Iran never gets a bomb, I mean, they kind of already did that for us in 2004. But since we're going to go ahead and refresh on this one, making sure that Iran can't get nuclear enrichment, well, that's something that they're just not willing to negotiate on. And they're willing to negotiate a limitation on their enrichment, but not a full-on, oh, you got to get rid of your enrichment or nuclear, or their enrichment program. They're just not going to do it unless we can enforce it. Which is they're pretty much telling us to our face due to the failed ceasefire talks. It's like, you can't talk us out of it. You're going to have to force us out of it.
Because over the weekend, that's it right there, Rob. Get that one. Left. No. That one. Okay. So take a look at this. On the lower side is Oman. The dark blue water is Oman. And there's the 2 old shipping lanes when the Strait of Hormuz was operating before the war. See it? One was this way.
Yo, Castro, bro. Like, you know, we're hurting our allies too, right? Denying their allies fertilizing agents and missile-making chemicals like sodium. Bro, here's the thing. Iran, they got all that on their own. They're one of the most self-sufficient countries in the world like us. So they got all that on their own. And we're hurting their allies and our allies as well, bro. We can't just sit here and pretend like the only people being affected is them and their allies. No, our allies are getting affected too. Like Japan, India, and Pakistan. Those are like some of the biggest ones. Oh yeah, and the guys over there in Indonesia as well. They're feeling the pain too. So we can't just sit here and pretend like, oh, all of this is happening only to Iran and their allies. No, we're shooting our own allies in the foot as well.
One goes that way. Those are known as shipping lanes, and they keep 2 miles in between for bad weather, fog, you know, all the kinds of things you want. So these boats go this way and that way. That's the way it was before. You see the red?
No, I love the crybabies in the chat. Like when they can't pretty much prove me wrong on anything, or they're just mad that I'm not, I guess, I don't know, just overly on the United States side, just being like, all the lies they tell us is right, guys. We're totally crushing them. We're winning this war, even though reality doesn't reflect that. I mean, like, bro, look, you can go find another channel where somebody's going to tell you everything you want to hear. They will sell you the dream that this war is 2 weeks away, okay, from being done. They'll sell you the dream that Iran is going to get a nuclear warhead in 2 weeks, okay? They'll sell you that dream. There's channels that would do it, but I'm not going to do it, okay? Like, sorry, but I'm not falling for the war propaganda like y'all are. I mean, you can sit here and keep crying, but the reporting is going to stay the same.
gridded area there where Iran has declared it a hazardous area. See that square there, Pat?
Yep.
Iran has said, we put a bunch of mines in here, but we can't remember where we put them. That's why the president, in his quote that you just read.
Do you believe they really don't know where it's at?
No, I believe they're using the unknown to force their offer, which is, see the 2 lanes that now run through the pink? The pink, or light red, is Iran territory waters, and they're trying to force the shipping lanes to reroute. They're going to put the toll booth on Larak Island. See that right there with the 2 lanes?
Yep.
One goes this way, one goes that way. So they're saying, hey, you're going to pay a toll to us. This is where it's going to go. And gosh, I wish I could help you with those shipping lanes down there, but I got mines in the area. So the president is saying, screw you. I'm going to blockade you on those new shipping lanes that you're offering, that your own boats are shipping through. And we're going to go clear any mines out of the old shipping lanes by Oman, and we're going to get life back to order. That's what the president is saying on an operational level. These are the actions he's going to take. On the other side, Iran wasn't given. And they weren't given, which is kind of put him in the, all right, you're not going to give up, so I'm going to go blockade the other way. But ladies and gentlemen, that's why you're hearing Iran saying we're blockading, using it because they say there's mines, and we say, nope, we're going to blockade, saying we are going to block the new lanes that have been offered by Iran.
Adam.
So U.S. is winning, Iran is losing, and everyone else is trying to pick up the pieces of what's actually going on. It's very interesting to me to see. Obviously, we saw the tweet that Trump did when he called out everybody.
I mean, here's the thing. If the U.S. was winning, so like we say we are, then why didn't Iran accept our ceasefire deal? If we're just destroying these guys and they have nothing left and they're on their last leg, then why didn't they accept that ceasefire deal? Okay, then. Why didn't they accept our maximalist demands since we're just whooping their ass? Because that's what every other army did when they got their ass whooped. They accept the maximalist demands. So I'm sorry, but you guys just aren't speaking to reality right now, because everybody sees that, you're saying we're whooping their ass, but they just walked away from a ceasefire deal. A maximalist one that they should accept because we're whooping their ass, according to y'all.
Especially the MAGA crowd, who's basically abandoned Trump. It's like, you don't abandon the guy that got you here. So the question with Trump now regarding Hormuz.
Oh, yes, the fuck you do, especially if he stops being pro-American, especially if he stops being American first and he starts acting like he's Israel first. And when he goes from anti-war to pro-war, yes, the fuck you do. It's like, this ain't no goddamn cult where we just follow a person as a leader. I have values, I got morals, and I have things, and there's things I want to see done for America, for the American people. And if Trump acts outside of that, I'm gonna speak against it. Please don't give me that bullshit ass, oh, well, he got you, or Trump ain't get me fucking nowhere. I've been had these ideals before Trump. I've been had this understanding of the world before Trump. So please cut that bullshit, like Trump just came along and just gave us all this knowledge, or came along and he just been this bashing of America first. We all thought like this before Trump. We were just waiting for somebody who can actually be a representative of that. And we thought it was Trump, and now we're finding out that it's not. That's why we're speaking out against it, Adam. But apparently Trump is now pro-Israel, and you're okay with that because that just aligns with your values, not ours.
And just the overall Trump situation is Trump betraying his base, or is he actually just following through what he's always said? So if you just look at Trump's track record, and then I'm going to get to the Strait of Hormuz, he came in 2015, came down the escalator. In that speech, he addressed the Mexican situation. They're rapists, they're this, they're that, and some are good people. What was missed from that speech is he called out Iran. In his first major speech, okay, gotcha. He's exited the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear agreement. I don't want to curse right now, but he said, I'm going to bomb the out of them. Do you remember that quote? Then he did it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
He said this years ago. He takes out Soleimani. By the way, took out ISIS. Where are they these days? He was in the 12-day war.
Operating in Lebanon with Israel. That's where they're at right now. Yeah, I mean, according to the people of Lebanon, ISIS is actually working side and side with the Israelis to help push out the Lebanese people out of southern Lebanon. That's where ISIS is these days, actually. And I mean, he asked.
The bombing of the nuclear facilities. He did a Muslim ban, and all of a sudden people are like, dude, where'd this come from? I thought you didn't want any new wars with Iran.
Yeah, because he called Barack Obama stupid. If he said Barack Obama will be stupid and does not know how to negotiate if he get into a war with Iran. He said that I will not get into a war with Iran. He said this out of his own effing mouth. So when you guys sit here and play retarded and talk about, oh, well, in the 80s, he said, yeah, but in current day, he said that, nah, going war with Iran would not be a good idea. All of our entanglements in the Middle East has not produced anything good. And this is one of the reasons why we voted for Trump, because he's seen the obvious. And for some reason, you guys want to play dumb again. Like, they're using the same war propaganda from Iraq, and y'all just falling for it again. No pattern recognition or nothing. Like, really?
This way.
Low IQ.
Trump's not starting a new war. He's ending a war with Iran that we've been at war for 47 years. Now let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. This is all Iran's got left. We've taken out their military. We've taken out their navy. Do they even have an air force? Do they even have defensive missile capabilities? Defensive. They're making themselves enemies of all their neighbors. They're a social pariah. And all they got left is the Strait of Hormuz. So it's an economic war over oil. So I'll ask you this. Remember the famous situation where Trump and J.D. Vance were in the Oval Office and they were dressing down Zelensky? He's like, you don't have the cards. You don't have the cards. Now, Iran jokingly goes, yeah, well, we have a strait, the Strait of Hormuz. And Trump's using this blockade and saying, oh, really? Nice strait. Boom. Here's a royal flush. I'm going to blockade your blockade. You think you're crazy? I'm crazier than you.
No, it just sounds childish, Adam. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a blockade your blockade then. Like, I mean, bro, like, what got solved, Trump? What did you solve by blockading the blockade? Did anything really get solved here? Like, is anybody getting their oil now? No. Is the strait open? No. You just put a double lock on it. So, like, what got done here besides now there's a double lock on the Strait of Hormuz? I'm going to put a blockade on your blockade. I'm sorry. This just sounds so childish.
The bottom line is
like,
this.
How cute.
Trump has all the cards. He has all the leverage. And now Iran is going to have to scramble to dictate what Trump's going to do.
I want to show you.
You know what's so crazy? Iran was already living without that income. They was already making missiles, drones, bro, all in-house before the Strait of Hormuz even became an asset of theirs. So this is why we're looking at Trump kind of like stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but what did you stop them from doing? Huh? Like, oh, you stopped them from collecting a fee at the Strait of Hormuz? Like, that's not stopping their missile capability, their drone capability, and it doesn't stop the fact that they control still that part of the strait. All you're doing is stopping the guys who are getting their oil from getting out. And we're not even sure, and you're not even fully committed to that, because you're not going to start destroying our allied ships or even Russia or China ships. You're just going to put a 50% tariff. So AKA, it's a paper tiger threat.
Two things. Rob, if you want to pull up the J.D. Vance clip real quick when he explains 21 hours and nothing happened. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, good morning, everybody. And let me say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis, who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We've been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. And I think that's bad news for Iran, much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States, having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms.
Okay, so you hear that. Wait, you hear that right there. Then you see the president coming out, and he's speaking to Maria Bartiromo, and this is what he says to her on what he wants now from them.
I predict they come back and they give us everything we want. And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. Everything. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
Yeah, so now here's the thing. I think one of the things the president did by sending J.D. Vance out there, I actually like that move a lot. And I'll tell you why, because if Rubio went out there negotiating on his behalf, Rubio people would say he's an interventionist. But if J.D. Vance goes out there negotiating as a guy whose position is probably a non-interventionist, more like an isolationist, because the ties of names like Tulsi being tied to J.D., Joe Kent being tied to J.D.
Yeah, it was proven that J.D. was pretty much against this war. And they pretty much sent JD. He's like, oh, well, you're so against it. Well, great. Go over there and see if you can stop it. The problem is, though, JD, that you can't really, do anything by yourself. You got to check in with the president, and the president's going to tell you what you can and cannot accept. So not Jay-Z, but JD, he wasn't really, I'm be real with you. They should have just had Trump at the table, if anything. If that's how it was going to be, and you got to check in with Trump while my man's on the way to a UFC fight, then Trump should have been there instead.
A lot of Tucker Carlson's son, Ben, I believe his name is Buckley Carlson, being tied to JD. I think these are all good things that the president did of sending JD Vance out there, because the world is now saying, well, guess what? Rubio, JD, and Trump are all on the same page when it comes down to Iran. You can say whatever you want. Those three are now on the same page. So, the average person would have probably thought the better person to send to negotiate here would have been who? Rubio. Right?
Rubio and Witkoff, they've been doing the work.
But why did he not send Rubio? Why did he send JD?
Because now
I think it's a absolute great.
Why would Rubio go to negotiate a ceasefire that he honestly don't want? Like, Rubio don't want a ceasefire. Trump don't want a ceasefire. They want to keep things rolling. So only JD Vance. And he said, all right, cool. You can go to negotiators and see how things go for you. And as you've seen, it did not go so well at all. So sucks, but we're right back at it, guys. We are right back at it.
Move that he sent JD instead. And by the way, here's the thing that we're going to realize as well. This is a little bit tough because, people say things to me and they'll say, well, why don't you send me? Why don't you send me? When we're doing certain negotiations. And I'll say, look, if I send Tom, here's what Tom's going to do. Tom's going to close. The deal's going to get done. We're going to make progress. If I send you, will you close? If you don't close, Vinny, then I'm not sending you. But we got to send somebody that's going to go close the deal without you being there. So the pressure's also on who? The pressure's also on JD to close. Because right now, what are a lot of people saying? You saw the criticism that's going viral right now. What is the criticism? Did you see it?
But that's not fair, though. Because like I said, what came out of the negotiations room, according to reports, JD had to check in with the president like 6 times. AKA, JD had no real negotiating power.
JD? I don't know if you guys saw this morning or not.
He doesn't have the clout. He can't close the deal.
Anything he touches, it doesn't turn to gold. What people are saying.
Like he's the Drake of politics.
Like they're saying, hey, I'm telling you what the Twitter, the criticism is saying. JD's approval rating has.
And to be honest, bro, Jared Kushner should have been out of those negotiations. Like the fact that he has like a conflict of interest, AKA he's really good friends with the Netanyahu family. Yeah, he should be taken out of those negotiations.
Fallen 21 points from January of 2025 of +3 to -18 today. So he has to rebuild his credibility because he went to help out Orban. Orban didn't work out. He went to negotiate. So this is also a way of saying, hey, you want to go be a president? Show up. Do you know how to negotiate in these high intense, high pressure type of situations? We're going to see what he's going to do as well. I'm confident that he's got the skill set to be able to do that as well. He's fairly poised. He showed up in a debate with when he was going up against Tim Walz. So I think he has that diplomacy in himself as well. But you got to close. You have to close the deal. So will others be threatened by what he's saying? We don't know. We're about to find out. Vinny.
Well, Pat, and I'll give you credit where credit's due. When we were in the van coming back, this just broke. And this was one of the first things that you said is that they know that they're sending a guy that doesn't want war, that was distancing himself. Trump was in, they quoted.
Guys, let's make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get to 300 likes. Right now, we're at 270. So I just need 30 of y'all to double tap that screen and like the video. Appreciate the support, guys. And if you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, feel free to super chat it in. Help us reach our goal of opening up the call in. So appreciate that. And let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video or smash that like button.
Him, I don't know if it was New York Times or Wall Street Journal where they said the president said JD Vance was, then they put in quotes, less enthusiastic about the war. And by the way, so this looks like a dead end. If you want, from a strategic point of view, Tommy, you want to send a guy that has to now get his hands dirty, because this trip to me was about watching, documenting, and letting Iran show in real time that there was no real path forward. And I believe they kind of already knew that going in. Once the optics were locked in, the moral high ground was established, and whatever comes next can now be framed as the only remaining option. And Pat, it made me look at the book, The Art of War, and Sun Tzu wrote, all warfare is based on deception, which basically the lesson is when conflict is unavoidable, let your enemy prove peace was never possible. Then when force follows, it no longer looks like aggression. It looks inevitable. So I think this was a gangster move by sending him now, because Adam, now, guess what? Come 2028, when he's going to start to distance himself, they go, whoa, whoa, you were there. You saw it. Iran's not trying to freaking negotiate at all, so you're in it with us.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany.
All right. Before they get into their whole shoe, let's go over here and get into Pierce Morgan. Shout out to these guys. Guys, not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, guys. Go ahead and hit that icon above, especially if you've been watching for longer than at least 10, 20 minutes. Go ahead and hit that icon above and subscribe to the channel, guys. Appreciate the support. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it.
We have a one-man rule, and the one man happens to be crazy.
You block my ships and I'll block yours. That's the upshot of the US president's latest Iran war gambit. A US naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is now in force. It will not reduce the global cost of oil and gas. In fact, quite the opposite. But it may stem the steady flow of cash flooding into Iran's coffers, one of the most perverse unintended consequences of the conflict so far. Perhaps surprisingly, in current circumstances, President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio spent Saturday night.
And just to read out the results of the poll, is this blockage a good idea? Well, 60% of you voted no, and 40% of you guys voted yes. This is out of 1,600 votes. Yeah, 1,600 votes.
At the UFC in Florida. It's fair to say Vice President J.D. Vance got the short straw, fresh from trying and failing to save Viktor Orban's campaign in Hungary. He spent 21 hours in negotiations with the Israelis in Islamabad.
The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. And I think that's bad news for Iran, much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms.
Well, the biggest